That's right. It's me, the prophet, Ostradamus. The Britball prophet.
This is perhaps the most severe form of gloating I've ever seen.
I am
from
the
you.
Britball.
Certainly from you.
I am the Britball prophet. I know when your club is fucking shithouse, and I know when you're gonna pull out, and I know when you're not worth the time of day. I'm also sweating my fucking balls off in this thing, and I've got
Is it that hot? You only had it on a couple of minutes,
mate. It's like a full-on dry robe, like meant for when you go fucking wild swimming at the beach. Yeah, so it's like all insulated and shit, and then obviously to give me the pointy fucking wizard hat thing, I've got a dish brush dashed down the back of my neck above my head. So that's fucking itchy.
I didn't know about that piece. I thought that was. That's hilarious.
Mate, commitment to the bit.
Yeah.
Commitment to the bit. Right, let me dry out. Let me get this off. The irony of having to take off a dry robe to dry out.
Oh my god. What the fuck was that?
Oh mate, I've had fucking I don't know if it's the coronavirus. I don't know if it's COVID anymore, but I've just had the flu. Like literally after I spoke with you guys on Monday, just got fucking struck down. So I spent half of my holiday with the flu. It was great.
I'm just looking over here, looking at the playoff dates and stuff. I didn't realize I had them, but I do. But
you do have them?
Yeah. So it's funny, right? We didn't have Prem Ball on the weekend. We don't have it this weekend. We've got it the weekend after, and then 2 weeks off of it. Then the semis, then a week off of it, and then the final. So we've only got 3 more weekends of any Prem Ball.
Across like what, the next 7 weeks or some shit?
Across that, next 7 weeks, but 8 weeks total, yeah. So, but we obviously have got on Saturday the GB men's squad playing France.
Germany? France.
No, France. They haven't been promoting a live stream for it. I believe it will be live stream, but they're trying to get bums on seats in the stadium.
Right.
So I think that's why they're sort of they got the GB women's to compete with now, because obviously they're quite well supported, aren't they? GB.
Right. The women drawing numbers,
quality, right? So
no, I haven't had a haircut, Nathan. It just falls out more and more every day. Right, so we've got a few people. So LL Cool P.
Cricket P. I love that everyone calls him Cricket P.
LL Cool P.
I don't even know where that came from. I got a feeling I coined it, but I don't really want to claim.
Alicia letting us know hello.
Hey.
Russ asking if you've dried out yet.
Don't. It's a sore subject, Russ. It's a sore subject.
Yeah.
I was just saying to Oz before we started. He didn't ask about me having dried out. He said, "How was it yesterday?"
Oh yeah, I said, "How was it?"
I should have walked home. I should have just walked off.
Should have walked home.
I probably would have been dry if I'd have walked home. It was unreal. I was just saying, all my kits all spread out across my office, trying to dry out. It was just awful. What's Cricket Pete going to do? Oh yeah, I saw the Ashes had finished. I don't follow cricket, but I do see all the cricket jokes come up. Wait. Maybe this will correlate nicely with.
No, the county season's in full swing, so he's still got stuff.
I was going to say some stuff actually happening in Britball. We can wish, but so yeah, Oz, do you want to explain for those that don't understand the reason for your gloating?
Yeah.
Those
of you who, the name and everything. Last week's show, I came on and I said that both DC Presidents and Darlington's team were going to forfeit their games. Like, we decided to up the notch on our predictions.
Up the notch? No, we decided to say, look, there's a couple of games in it. We probably won't even go ahead. So let's.
Nah, we stepped it up. Would they play the games?
I think it was clearly it was a realistic one, because 2 of the 3 games that we predicted that on actually, and they were the 2 that you predicted.
Oh, for sure, because I know a fucking terrible organization when I see one. Like you could see it. You could see it a mile away that they were going to drop nuts and just fucking. Oh no, our season's over. Don't worry about it. Like just fucking shithouse. Fuck off. Both of them need to forge some super shithouse organization and just stop us from having to deal with them like twice a year. Because it's Darlington and Durham County. They're only about an hour apart, so they could just.
This is what people are saying, that it's not good for football in the northeast, right? Like, there's not that many teams. Well, you've got Gateshead, you've got
Northumberland.
Who else is up there
In the northeast? So it's the 4 teams in the northeast itself. Gateshead, Northumberland, Darlington, and DC.
Yeah, there's only 4, isn't there? Yeah. So 2 of them are now
shit. Fucking just shit.
Are we gonna have a new Corn Bay? What is there another?
So
that's what I was saying.
Adam's asked, are they close enough to? So, DC are based in Peterlee, which is sort of like South County Durham. Darlington, I don't know where exactly in Darlington they're based, but Darlington's like I think it's northern Teesside, so they do border. It is like a Corn Bay scenario.
Yeah.
So they're about an hour apart. They're about an hour drive apart, and I know players.
What about all 4 teams merging into one mega organization?
Calling it like yeast or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The steaming turds.
To be anywhere outside the group. Oh, that sounds like. Hang on. Do I think the North will have enough teams to run a Div 2 season? It depends, because obviously, do you remember we used to have the Leeds Bobcats as well, and then they went fucking.
Was Leeds Bobcats considered part of the Northeast?
No. So Russ has just asked for the North. So he hasn't mentioned Northeast specifically. Because when you think about the North, you've also you've still got the Rams are up here, the Raiders, they're in Wakefield, so they're still there. Don't know what the fuck's going to happen with Halton.
Never happened. Too many egos. Story of Britball, mate.
And this is one thing I do not understand. How can you be so fucking shithouse and have an ego? How can you be so woeful and disappointing to your club, your sport, your fucking ancestors, and still have an ego? Like, just you like all I can think of is fucking Mushu from Mulan. Like dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow. Like, it's just it's horrendous.
Yeah, I think it gives. I think a lot of people are expecting. And this is me just because when we post about this stuff, we get a lot of comments in those posts, and people.
Oh, notice it's the only time the fucking
debate and stuff.
The teams will chirp to fuck though. They're like, "Oh, we did everything that we could."
It was the last thing. They're carbon copies of the people that did the same thing before.
We did everything that we could except run our organization well.
In fact, this message is the most timely we've ever been with communication.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but it's it feels to me that the sport is crumbling from the bottom. Like the bottom end of the sport just feels like it's just being stripped away.
It's very telling,
funny, right? Because if you'd have asked me about I don't know 5-6 years ago, I said, yeah, you need to get rid of all these people that keep forfeiting and stuff, and that's what's happening now. But it's like no one. But it feels to me like what we expected would happen, which was, we'll take team away, this team away, that team away, and those resources, or a percentage of those resources, as in not just the physical resources, but like the people, will go. They'll coach elsewhere, they'll play elsewhere, and it will strengthen another team. And it seems to be they're like, nah, fuck it, I'm done.
It's not even that. It's they go elsewhere and then they fucking shithouse that other team.
It's happening at all 3 tiers. Well, from what I can tell,
Merseyside.
You've got. I don't know how bad it is in Merseyside, but certainly from what I've been told, like Well, I know at Kent they told me so many people left, and
that's wild to me. That is absolutely wild to me.
What?
That DC and Gateshead were in talks last year about a merge, and DC turned it down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we talked about that on a.
No, but how do you have the Stones as DC to turn down a merge?
Well, there was talk early this season of Leicester and Merseyside merging. But obviously those are fairly far apart. But that's what
DC and Gateshead are just up the A1M. Like, I literally live in the fucking center of where DC and Gateshead would look at their merger. Like, for me, it's probably 15 minutes to Gateshead, and where DC used to be in Washington, it was probably about 10 minutes. Like, and the fact that DC has the stones to go, no, we don't need you. We don't need you. And,
But I think so. Nathan's popped up here and said about teams fold, new teams pop every 10 yards. But I remember when I first joined the sport, it was a lot tighter governed, and you couldn't have teams within a certain distance of each other, and you couldn't have teams with the same name as each other as well. And there were like other teams, like other names they couldn't use. You weren't allowed to use Monarchs, Bulldogs, and a number of names associated with either England or GB, right? And all of that seems to have been stripped away. Now, I don't think a distance thing makes sense. I think you've got to base it on population density, right, and catchment area, but also likelihood of people within that catchment area traveling to play for your team.
I was going to say sort of historical representation.
Yeah, because
how big is football in your area?
Phantoms?
Furnace Phantoms,
just in the middle of nowhere, and just nothing, and so like.
Same with the Carlisle Kestrels that popped up and then disappeared straight after.
If you looked at a catchment area that includes, I'm throwing a number up, right? But if you looked at a catchment area of 50 or 60,000 people, right, to support one Britball team, right? Let's just say that's what it was. So in London, that's not very far. You can have multiple teams. You could probably have a couple in Manchester or whatever. Finesse probably would have to have people traveling over an hour just to make that catchment area big enough, right?
Isn't Furness like the fucking corner of Scotland? Where is Furness?
It's on the west coast, and it's like where all the I don't know in the British Isles that well, but there's this like jagged little bit, and it's on one of the points of the jagged bits, and there's like it's just fuck all there.
Oh,
right?
mate, it's in Cumbria. I've been over there actually because there's a safari zoo over there. That's where me and the missus went and petted like the capybaras and stuff in Finesse.
Right. Oh, cool.
There's fucking nothing there. Like,
yeah,
you've got to get people.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, how far are people expected to So that's what I'm saying. There needs to be.
I mean, if you want to get in a fucking dinghy, you can row across Morecambe Bay from Holton. Yeah, you can row across Morecambe Bay from Holton because the Spartans ain't doing fuck all either.
How sustainable is a club in this place, right? Like, so I think
London, I don't even know if life is sustainable in that place, let alone a fucking club.
London can have teams in Wembley, and then just a little bit further north, you've got the Hornets, right? Because it's got so many people within that catchment area, it can absolutely provide enough players and coaches, and it's fine, and the same for the other major sort of populated areas, and I don't think that that's what's been considered. It's just like someone's like, I don't know, they're sort of in there with, they know a little bit about Britball. They decide to create a team with their mates because
they've got 15 other friends, and they're like,
oh,
let's make a football team.
We can make a team, and it works for a couple of years maybe, and then when it starts getting serious, everyone flakes, and there's no one.
The thing is, right, if it's well done, it's well done. Look at the height. But what I mean by that,
4 teams in the catchment areas in the North Sea.
That's it, mate. That's it. It's catchment areas of fucking like an abandoned military.
Yeah, it's a fort.
With a population of 0. Population of 0, still maintaining 4 teams.
Yeah, but it's got a population of like 40, I think.
Oh yeah, the workers who maintain the
workers,
yeah, and all of them play both ways. But it's like if it's done well, it can work. Look at Highland, right? Inverness is not exactly like a fucking metropolis, but they've got a really good youth program.
Yeah,
that then plays into an adult program. So obviously there's no under 19, so they all fuck off down to like Edinburgh, because I asked about this. They all fuck off down to like Edinburgh and Glasgow and Stirling for uni. But then they come back up.
Yeah.
And they come back for the adult team.
Yeah.
And when you've got the fucking structure in place, it can work. And when you've got the brains behind it, that's the thing. Like the guys that I met from Highland, you know, the Stags and the Wildcats and stuff, they're fucking switched on, man. Like,
why are the Stags not called the Cat?
I don't know. It wasn't even a thought that crossed my mind.
Yeah, well, it's the same club, right?
No, yes and no. They are separate. They are complete separate entities.
Oh right, I thought they were the same club.
No. That's the thing. So the Wildcats feed into the Stags by the fact that, you know, they're both a team based in fucking Inverness, but they are, as Tom's just mentioned, they're different organisations.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
Yeah, but the way that they've gone about running it, they're so fucking clued up there. They know exactly what they're doing. Whereas half the people you look around at these organisations, half these people, like everybody always says, they're all ego, no fucking brains.
Well, and I remember I upset a lot of people making this criticism once. It was at I think I did it with Gridiron Memes, where I said the people that a lot of people that run clubs in the UK, they're like people on benefits holding their hand out asking for everyone to give him everything. And I likened it to we've tried nothing and we're already out of ideas. You know?
I remember that one. We've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't think people try and help themselves enough, or enough people do. And I know that's probably going to annoy a load of people, but yeah, I guarantee you, if you swapped the Highland staff into Darlington in pre-season, or into any of these other teams that have folded in pre-season, those teams wouldn't have forfeited games.
Oh, 100%.
Like having
met the guys, like two of the guys that are very crucial at running like the Highland organisation and the Wildcats, you drop them in any struggling fucking organisation, and they would turn it around. It starts at the top with just shithousery and shit for brains. Yeah. And that's why your club is folded.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I did see a very little cheeky comment here.
I think that's supporting you right now. There are several.
Oh no, that's what I mean. So I thought it was quite cheeky because I'm still eating humble pie about Bristol.
Because it's the lower ends. You could have spotted a dud.
yeah. Don't get me wrong. I can't spot a fucking winner from a mile away, but I can spot a shit cunt.
That's a great point from Adam, and I've seen that. Sorry, another one he's just posted. Sorry, I got.
Get off my comments.
Yeah. Some people running clubs reject help from others. They see it as a threat. Yes, absolutely. And it's pathetic. It's like they just want to have a clipboard and a whistle, and they don't want anyone to challenge them, or they just want to have control of the website or the social media, and they don't
they're like I'm doing it. It's my yeah. It's an ego. It's an ego trip.
Egos. Yeah, it's massive. Yeah, probably shouldn't have that. Holton were advertising subs as half a Kit Kat for the year.
So wait, Holton was literally charging half a Kit Kat for subs.
They were doing no subs. I remember that.
Well, I wonder why they folded.
It's because they were desperate for people to sign. That was the big deal. But it was
mate. You've got all those people. You've got all those people across Morecambe Bay and Furness. What are you doing? Just run a bus. Run a bus.
Background organizational management is often overlooked, but is the real key to success. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree with that, Ian.
100%. So Tony's just mentioned we're all here to grow the sport, should be helping each other. No, I don't think everybody is here to grow the sport. That's the thing.
Nah.
Like, we say we're all here to grow the sport, but a lot of people are just here to fucking make a name for themselves. It's the classic old joke of a lot of players are just there to get their Facebook profile. Like,
I don't think they are. There are definite genuine people that want to grow the sport. Let's not overlook that. But I would say that people want to work independently. Like I've said it for years for the whole media side of it that Tebs runs for us, and I used to be quite heavily involved with. I was like, why are people duplicating efforts that others are doing? Right. So like, I don't know, you get scores, picks, reviews, interviews. Like, why are two separate entities clashing and doing the same fucking thing? Surely it makes sense to separate out and just have some sort of gentleman's agreement, and then it's better for the sport, right? Because more people are doing more content.
And not just that, it's the thing that fucking drives me up the wall is teams get shitty when someone else does well. So it's like, if you're a struggling team and you see a team that's doing well, you don't reach out and ask them for what they're doing well. They start talking shit about them out of spite. And they're like, oh, well, no, they've got all of this going on. They've got all that going on. They don't want to know what they've done to fucking create that sustainability and see how well they're doing behind. They just want to pull them down. They just want to pull them down to their level. So it's like the first time in Uniball, just suck it up.
In the first time in Uniball, I started to see that because I see a lot. We get tagged in a lot of stuff on Instagram. People want us to share, and there's a lot.
Uniball shithousery on Instagram is next level.
Oh, players are fucking hilarious, right? But the clubs and the coaches, they're the ones that stick around. They're the ones that are ever present, sort of thing. And the stuff I've seen recently is showing that some of the lesser teams, if you like, are starting to sign Americans, which didn't happen before. So I've always said, and I knew this because I spoke to, there's an ex-NFL player in Ohio that works with the Hall of Fame, and he takes underprivileged and underserved children, and he's got a whole league that he runs, a kitted league that's all subsidized by the Hall of Fame, and they play a big Hall of Fame game. Match, part of a bowl game for when the Hall of Fame happens each year. And I was talking to him about opportunities for his players to come over to the UK to get scholarships. And he was like, "Oh, is that possible?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, like people would lap up your kids." And I said, like, you've got universities like Oxford and Cambridge, and he was like, "Oh my God, like we could send someone from the hood, obviously had the right grades, to play in Oxford or Cambridge." And like, I don't think people, and I know that that's just an example of like Ivy League over here, but people don't realize the draw of from these high school kids to play another few years in football at all anywhere.
That's the thing, because once they've played high school, if they're not good enough to play even up like D3, that's probably their football done.
Yeah.
And then they've got to go to school and just like, if they can still, because they're probably planning on going to school anyway and trying to get a degree and everything. But if they can get that degree and still play ball somewhere else, like
have a bit of fun.
Three extra years can be a lifetime to some of these guys.
Or you go for the 1 year masters, which you see a lot of. UE do a lot of that, but yeah, like I've started to see more of these lesser teams using that draw. So Oxford this year have apparently got a really decent quarterback, and I think it's going to start. I'm hoping that's the start of it, to that approach to avalanche through Uniball. Obviously, we'll see. So, but that's an example of teams nailing it and figuring out the best way of doing this stuff and then sharing it. Because UE are really open and say, look, we'll teach you how we do this stuff, right? So hopefully that's starting to happen in Uniball.
So I want to touch on Kyle's point here that there's always an issue with mergers. It's actually whether it's actually a merge or basically we're going to take your team, take your players and fold your team, which can see a lot of work and pride of your team basically thrown away, which must hurt for all those involved. And yes, it's like Adam's just said, then it's just a standoff. If your team is going down the shitter right? If your team is you're looking at folding in 12 months anyway because you've poorly run your organization into the fucking ground anyway, you probably don't have the right to stand there and be, say, oh, all my hard work, all my pride for my team. No, you fucked it.
Yeah.
Suck it up. Put your ego in your pocket. Stop being a shit cunt.
Like in some instances, you think, well, the merger doesn't really matter because you're like, if it's so one-sided, you just if I were the bigger team, right, as like this, if it was unbalanced in my favor, but we'll just let them fold. That we'll just take the best of what they got.
We'll take the bin away, and that's the thing. It's like
we'll offer to buy their kit off of them at 50% or whatever. You don't always need to merge.
For half of these clubs, right, the ones that are folding, like when the organization is folding, like apart from the first one, the only one I can think of as the exception is Lancashire. None of these clubs have fucking storied histories, like 20, 30, 40 years long. Like a lot of these are new clubs that have popped up in the last couple of years, and now they're just fucking back off again. It's like, you're not protecting a legacy or anything like that.
I feel that with the DC presidents. I feel like they might have the odd old boy involved in it, but it's the whole story of the carpenter he's had the same broom for 17 years, and it's had 3 replacement handles and 6 replacement heads. It's not the same thing it was originally, even though you've got it called the same thing, right? Like you're using the name. And
just because you're sweeping the same fucking part of the ground doesn't mean it's the same fucking broom.
Yeah. So it's,
so Tom said 100% ask for these guys. He wouldn't know what he's doing without other GMs in the league offering advice and support. So more people need to ask more. We'll just touch on some of these comments. So the Dunfermline Kings are advertising for a new head coach yesterday. Unfortunate. Ryan said some people are here just to be a name in the sport. That's very true. Jeff reckons that people don't know the demographic of the area they're working in. 100%.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, Jeff. I think you nailed it there. Like they don't actually understand what their demographics are.
This is another issue as well, though. What Ian says, that the vast majority of people in Britball just want to play football.
Yeah.
And that's why the running the club is often a thankless task. It does take someone to step up, and that's what I remember is I often found that people in committee positions were often embittered by the fact they were in that position because they were like, oh, I had to take the role because no one else was going to do it and it needs to be done. And it's so Tom reckons that UWE and ACS offering scholarships to European pros and semi-pros is mad. I'm just gonna ignore Kwame.
He's such a prick. Kwame's such a prick.
I'm just ignoring him.
Sorry, I wasn't talking about the Adam comment. I just read Kwame's one.
Yeah. Bolton Uni to bring some players over for Lee, some Americans. Right, some Americans love to come play a team in this country. BAFA rules don't allow it.
Uni ball's different, but the whole BAFA import thing. Hopefully that goes soon. That's fucking stupid, right?
So Adam just mentioned in replying to. So Kyle mentioned earlier on was a comment that we had up for a very long time about like all your hard work going to waste if your team folds. And Adams just said he sees the point, but if you're in a position where a club's going to fold soon, then why not give the chance to keep playing? Exactly. Or you can do what what's their name did, and wait till after the transfer window closes and then fold your season.
Who did that? Who was it?
Absolute cunts.
Who was it that did that? The King? No, it wasn't the Kings.
No, it was fuck me. I've erased them from my memory because they're such shit cunts.
I can't remember who it was. Someone will pop up and say.
So there we go. Adams just said Pumas had a legacy getting fucked every season for 20 odd years. Who wouldn't want to keep that legacy going? Yeah, it was exactly. Torbay. There we go. It was Torbay. Fuck Torbay.
Of course, Alusha would know being from Somerset or playing for Somerset.
Yeah. Fuck Torbay, pricks.
Right. Is that everything?
Should we talk about some results? We're half an hour in.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, let's do it. Another thing, just very quickly. I'm really looking forward to and I hope they do publish the results of this consultancy the consultants coming in to do an
the American ones
on what's best for the sport. It really makes me laugh because I think what the fuck are the board and everyone else that's involved doing if they need someone to come in to the sport to advise us on what, or not advise us, advise them on what to do.
Big fan of that.
I can't wait for I imagine most of it they'll probably just go back through our live streams and just pluck all the stuff out of the comments.
Oh mate, can you imagine?
Because we're often putting the world to rights, aren't we, with our issues and things we talk about. But I just it makes my blood boil that's like that Pete has managed to convince the board, or maybe it was the board convincing Pete, I don't know. But the organisation managed to say, do you know what we could do right now is pay thousands of fucking pounds. It's laughable to an organisation to come in and look about everything and give us some advice. You know, what the fuck? Do you not listen to what's being said about the sport? And are you not tuned into this fucking game? Like, what the fuck do you do all day?
I get that we just say what comes off the top of our head, right? But if we're going to talk about the man, can we at least be respectful and use his full name? Cricket Pete. Like we can't just go like shortening his name.
His full name, Cricketorian Petersfield.
Yeah, exactly. Cricket sheds in Petersfield. I just want to highlight this from Stuart. Very well, beautiful, loved it. The Orpington origami folded after the window closed. So Kyle was just replying to Adam that for the players, it's definitely there's just people in the clubs that will be too emotionally connected to their team. Not saying it's the right to keep those teams going. He just sees why it's not easy for people to fold it as easily as they should. Listen to the players, coaches, officials, but when is the league in many forms listen to people involved? Never. Micah says it was good seeing you yesterday.
It was.
What the fuck was he doing at the Rushmore?
Mate, getting drenched like the rest of us. It was. He was taking pictures, so he had his camera under his top. He's like, I don't really want to take my camera out. It's going to get wet. It was cool. It was cool seeing him. We were chatting at half time.
Cricket Pete's 100% spending that money to justify pushing the sport towards flag.
Oh yeah, definitely going to go towards flag.
Take 50K a year, pay someone else to do the job for us. Fucking exceptional business model.
I don't get it. Do you know what? I'd love it if after the consultation they said, one of the first things you got to do is stop wasting money on fucking consultants. That'd be brilliant to read that. But
except bring us on retainer. We need to be on retainer.
I love it.
Consultancy's first bit of advice: ban Sportank from Baffa games due to calling Pete cricket sheds and Pete.
Yeah, it's ruining the game.
Yeah, brings the game into disrepute.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't tried to do me for that, but I'd absolutely rinse them. But yeah, I mean, I think compared to like they didn't do it when I was doing gridiron memes, and I was causing a lot more trouble for them then. Like at least we're offering value to the sport, or I'm offering value.
If we ran our clubs the way Baffa ran the sport, how long do you reckon we survive? About as long as the Dunfermline Kings.
If we ran our clubs away, well, maybe that's what it is. Maybe these clubs are following Baffa's lead. That's why they're all fucking folding.
Where the fuck are they getting the 50 grand?
But one thing we do know is that Baffa will come down hard on these teams, right? If you look at the example of the recent off-season, decent presidents, for example, were told you're going to associate status, as were a few others, and they fought. They appealed and won their appeals and ended up in the league. But then Baffa's definitely going to be like, well, I fucking told you so, and I think I think they will come down hard on teams that are continuing to not fulfill.
And then someone will whisper to them, "Go, we can't collect subs from associate teams," and they'll go, "Oh right,
we've got rid of 40% of the team, so we need to increase the membership fees by 40%."
What we've done is we've created
revenue streams.
We've restructured the league, and it's no longer associate. We've just created a Division 3, and these teams, Holton, DC, fucking every other, Darlington, they're all going to be in Division 3. Now, if you want to play in Division 2, you have to qualify, and they literally set out all of these fucking, like, they just copy and paste the associate rules. They're like, you have to follow this if you want to make it to Division 2, but you still have to play full subs.
I think we're headed for the lower level of the sport, whatever that is, Div 2, 3, whatever you end up calling it, because I think there's going to be a bit of a restructure this off-season, right?
Oh, it has to be.
And I think we'll see 9v9 or 8v8 be at that bottom level.
Flag. They get forced to play flag.
And then let's read Tom. Tom gives an alternative view here. Said, to be fair to Baffer, if some good comes out of the consultation, it will be worth it. But I attended one and found it quite useful. Yeah, it's good that they're doing it, but why are they paying for? Like, shouldn't they? Like, it's business as usual for them, right? To do that sort of stuff. Why are they paying for a consultant? Why are they being told this stuff? I don't get it. What if it's not your job to understand how to structure the sport, and you're paying for someone else? What the fuck is your job? What is your job? Like, I just don't get it. If I was the CEO of a business and I was like, oh, we have to bring consultants in to tell us everything that we need to do, I'd fucking be embarrassed to speak to the board. Like, I just don't get it. Yeah,
I'm in charge of this company with no idea how to run this company.
Yeah, I just don't get it. We'll probably end up with one of the consultants on the fucking board themselves, right? Like, I think it's another waste of money that could have been avoided and still got the same outcome. That's my problem with it.
It's a joke. Joke.
Right, Nathan said Nathan's saying if it's 9v9, would it be self-officiated? Probably, unless they figure out that you can. I suppose it depends on ref availability, but I would like to see them use the full weekend for games for filling fixtures. Although I've seen in the Uniball season this year, in the documents I was sent, it said double header for teams that were very close to each other. So like SGS and UE, they called that a double header. And there's a number of instances up and down the country. Edinburgh had some, Sheffield, etc. And I think what that is them using the same ref crew for two different games that are close to each other. So it's not a double header in the tradition of, we're using this one ground and everyone plays there. It's two grounds that are close to each other, and I believe that you can then, one game kicks off at 11 a.m., for example, and then the other one kicks off at 3 p.m. or whatever. So 9v9 killed junior football.
And video killed the radio star.
Hire some consultants to ref. Yeah, maybe that's a much better way of spending that money. Div 3, they just play Madden.
Yeah, but Russ pointed out that you can still forfeit games in Madden. So some of those teams...
You can rage quit, yeah. Hire some consultants to ref. That's my favourite.
Double header this weekend. Highland kicking off at Clyde Valley at 4 this weekend. It's going to be a fun drive back after a game at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's a proper double header, right? But the Uniball ones that they're looking at is about still playing home games at home for every team, but I think they just spread out the kickoff time so that the refs can travel, and it'd be it all gets thrown into. Oh, actually, no. I suppose the games are shorter in Uniball, aren't they? They're 12-minute quarters, so it's not as long. Yeah, probably work.
Best we can do for you, Nathan, is a bag of Haribo.
Yeah.
Right, should we get into some breakdowns?
Yeah. Let's go. I need to get the scores. I got them
too. I'm assuming the website's been updated.
Hey?
I'm assuming the website's been updated.
Yeah. Yeah,
Dom's done his job. Wonderful.
Who?
Dom has done his job.
I update the website. Dom codes it. I use it, if you like. So like, I'm the admin for putting all the scores on and everything. My days are very long on a Sunday. That's my headache.
Oh, here we go. Tom's starting to fucking play the small violin. He's going to Loughborough. He's going to Harlem. He's going to Clyde Valley.
Don't have a successful team then.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Stop being involved with winning teams.
Suffering from success. The DJ Khaled.
Steve missed the start of it, but if you're discussing the review meetings, the consultant is one of us. The ideas are so bad that people need to participate and kill them.
Right. Discussing the review meetings, the consultant is one of us. Oh, right. So I thought they were paying a consultancy. Have I got that wrong then? Because I was certain that they said they were going to get external consultants in. Is it just those review meetings that have got people in, and then that gets fed back to like a consultant brain, or group, a team of consultants that then mull over it and advise accordingly? Like I definitely remember them saying they were paying for external consultants coming in. No, they're paying him, but it's Matt. Oh, it's not even. It's not external. It's Matt Davies.
Who's Matt Davies?
He's I think his nickname's Spoonie. He's from he's part of the GB setup. He's very well respected, really level-headed bloke from I think he's the Edinburgh Wolves. He's a good guy.
Cool. Well, fingers crossed.
It's his day job though. Okay, cool.
So he's a consultant in his day job.
Jobs for the boys as always. That is classic old Baffer behaviour. Oh yeah, well, yeah.
Must be nepotism.
Yeah. Cool. Anyway, well, yeah. Like I said, he's a good bloke, and he cares about the sport. He's a good guy. So hopefully we do get some good stuff. But again, why are we paying it? Why? Why not someone else that's already in the sport, that's getting paid a salary, and apparently knows everything.
Yeah, Steve's outed him, so now his DMs get flooded with ideas now that he's been outed.
Yeah.
Spoonie is EKP.
Okay, there we go. Sorry. I knew he was somewhere up there.
Knew he was Scottish.
Somewhere up there with a funny accent. And I knew it was red. I knew the team had red.
Right. So, speaking of teams with funny accents that play in red, Glasgow Tigers, 14. I'm assuming they're playing red. I don't know. Their logo's red, so I tried to transition.
No, they're like black and orange.
Oh, diddums. Glasgow Tigers, 14. Clyde Valley Blackhawks, 6. That's a closer game than I thought it was going to be.
No, I was expecting around that. Did we both go Glasgow?
We did both go Glasgow, but I have been preaching all year that the Blackhawks are not very good and they're kind of pretenders in their third place role.
They're Northern Birmingham.
Northern Birmingham. I'm sure they'll fucking love that.
Yeah. More north.
Imagine being called a Northern Brummie. Tony, Tigers had a TD callback for celebrating too early. He told me it would be close. I don't care what you told me, Tony. It's not Tonestradamus, it's Ostradamus, all right?
Yeah. Doesn't matter, yeah.
Congrats to the Tigers for getting to the playoffs. Sounds like it was a great game yesterday. Look at all this other Scottish people like boy
circle jerk.
Yeah,
just circle jerk.
Where's the clan battles? Where's the fucking slaughtering each other in the messages?
This is not what I want.
Yeah, I don't want you sitting there. Oh, well done, Glasgow. I want you to be like, "Fuck you, Glasgow. Your city's a shit." Like, I don't know. I like Glasgow. I like Glasgow.
Stupid statue with a stupid cone on his head.
You're full of crackheads. Your pubs close early. Like, that's what I want.
Didn't try anything, you pricks.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want just hatred in the comment from the Scots. I think they reserved that for the English, though. To be honest, like I don't think we're ever going to see Scott.
Yeah, we
Scott crime.
Like I don't know if you might have never heard of this, but Abe at Anyone But England. Have you heard about that? So there's a Scottish contingent, and they wear Abe t-shirts and stuff. Whenever England are in any major tournament or anything, in pretty much any sport, but mostly football, they want anyone but England to win. So they'll go to the pub and just celebrate and like support whoever they're playing.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Same thing between New Zealand and Australia. You see big shirts in like you can go to like a fucking one of the sports grounds, and you'll see shirts there that say, "I support two teams: the All Blacks and the anyone playing Australia." Yeah, and the same thing across the pond. It'll say, "I support two teams: the Wallabies and anybody playing the All Blacks." Right. And you can literally there's official fucking licensed merchandise that says that because it's that like ingrained. So Daniel says, "Fancy seeing you here, Tom." See, this is too nice.
Oh yeah,
this is what. So this is why our teams are doing so well. We help each other. Yeah, the Dunfermline Kings are doing fucking great, aren't they? That senior team from Dunfermline.
Did you? You didn't help them.
Didn't help them. What
about West Coast? What happened to West Coast?
What happened to West Coast?
Pyros?
What happened to the fucking Dumfries Hunters, eh? Do you fancy helping them? Sorry, Tony. We do
it's
love
a very
you, Tony.
tight-knit group of clubs that
and if you're on the outside you get fucking kicked down.
No Millhouse is. We're allowed one.
Yeah.
No buts, isn't it? We're allowed one.
Oh god.
Anyway, right, let's move on. I think this was a surprise. Yes, but that was a lack of players.
That's because you stole them all.
Get a room, Scotland.
Soon we're gonna have to fucking put up a hard border on the coast of Northumberland. Fucking Scotland, fuck off.
Just that one, didn't they? Hadrian's Wall.
Well, it was in Cumbria. I don't really know if it's the Scottish border.
Thing. It's the same thing. I'm from the south coast.
You don't even know who Adrian is.
I've never met Adrian in my life.
If you're from the south coast, Hadrian's Wall would definitely be spelled with an apostrophe. Adrian, you just take the H off. Adrian's Wall. Yeah. I know Adrian. I helped build that wall.
Yeah.
Put the bricks up myself.
We'll saw the curtain on the border soon.
Roughnecks 0. Inverclyde Goliaths 42. I
was surprised by the result. Surprised by the scoreline. No homers.
Yeah.
I got it wrong. Thanks, Flynn.
Thanks.
We're allowed one.
Yeah. I was surprised by the score. I was not surprised by the result.
Yeah, me too. No, I think I backed the Roughnecks to win. Actually,
you did back the Roughnecks to win.
Yeah. So what a thumping.
Yeah, you but I mean, you also thought that the Wolverines would forfeit the game against the Rams, and they played it and lost.
Yeah, good for them. Prove me wrong, children. I don't. I'm coming out of all the
Oz, is that you?
Huh?
Is that you, Oz? Prove me wrong.
Yeah. Well, that's Prove me wrong, children is Principal Skinner.
Yeah.
Another Simpsons. That one's right. Memes. Hopefully Flynn doesn't correct me.
This one was closer than I thought it would be, though.
What one?
24-3 for Lancashire Wolverines.
Nah. Well, yeah. Closer. I don't. It was never going to be close. I think I expected more points, but then you think, well, the Rams probably put their backups on, like.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, you know, they essentially scored what Darlington did against the Wolverines. So I'm a little bit like, what's going on? But then I was also thinking because the thing is, I don't know if the Rams would have put their backups on because they had the game against. So there we go. 5 trips to the red zone without scoring for the Rams. They had the game against these guys cancelled, forfeited, right? Then they had Holton in their division fold, so that's 2 more games.
Yeah, I think someone said they
played like 6.5 games. Yeah.
Fucking out of a 10-game season.
That's the thing. So it's like
half game shouldn't even count. That's 6 games.
I think Northumberland. No, I think Northumberland played 6.5 games. Yorkshire had played 7 games because so they played an extra half essentially. And I kind of wonder if they had, like, when you say the backups are playing, would you want the backups playing? Because you need all the game time you can fucking get if you're only going to play 7 games in a 10-game season. I'd be wanting all the fucking game time I could get. And Adams just said that they do have the Vikings next week, mind you. So were you guys resting players to make sure you weren't going to take on injuries against the Vikings? Or it's just, I thought you would score more against Lancashire is what I'm trying to say. I thought
what that doesn't say is that Lancashire folded at half after the first quarter.
For me, I had such high expectations for Yorkshire this year.
I don't think they've met expectations this year. They've underperformed, haven't they?
Coming into the season, I thought that they were going to be neck and neck with the Vikings.
Yeah.
And they've fallen behind the Alphas.
Yeah.
So it's it's very interesting, and I wonder what's going to go into it for next season. Just because I think if they look back at, like, even excluding the fact they 3 forfeited games against them or 2 walkovers and a forfeit, I still think they underperformed in the 7 games they played.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit painful. Speaking about forfeits, Darlington. One of us predicted that Darlington would be shit cunts and forfeit the game, and look what happened! Look what happened!
Yeah.
Because you're a terribly run organization and you can't get your shit together.
So they got a home walkover loss. Yeah. That's what I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you thought they'd play it, and they fucking didn't because they're shithouse. Yeah. Like, it's such a fucking embarrassment. It's such an embarrassment. Like,
what, the bottom team to, I suppose they're not quite bottom, but one of the, bottom dwellers to, they shouldn't even be in Div 1.
Was it raining again? The flood bowl. Remember Darlington forfeited one of the games because their ground was fucking flooded.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, is that why there is no we don't know.
We don't pay attention to it. The only time I've ever paid any attention to them is where I literally jumped onto during our show to ask him if he walked off at halftime when they quit, and then I never saw what his response was.
I don't know. Yeah, hopefully they both died or something, but we'll see. I
mean, one of the teams did. The other one's playing towards the final, but one of their teams has died a very slow death. Darlington Tench. Mate, Darlington fucking molasses. Like, it's just something you find down the bottom of a well. Like, it's just.
But yeah, like, I don't think Darlington should have been in Div 1.
I don't think they should have been in the league.
They get promoted. So I do feel sorry for the situation.
Yeah, but let's not pretend like that. Let's not pretend like that fucking division is full of, like, teams that are going to kick the shit. Like Northumberland, yes, going to kick the shit out of them. I would have assumed that Yorkshire were going to kick the shit out of them.
Yeah.
But then pre-season, Alphas had earned promotion, but they weren't night and day clearly ahead. Like, they weren't. I wouldn't have looked at it.
I would have said so. Like, I wouldn't have thought that Darlington would have beaten the Alphas.
No, I wouldn't have either, actually. Yeah, I take it back. I think the only team
was got Houghton and Lancashire left. Like,
Houghton would have been the only one where I would have looked at it and gone, they can beat them. You're right. They should have been with, like, DC, Nottingley.
Yeah, they should have.
They should have. Doncaster. They should have been back there. 100%. You're right. I take it back.
It's Baffer's fault.
It's Baffer's fault, but it's also the fact that the organisation is shitly run.
Right, let's move on. Sandwell, they actually went, I think it was 7-0 ahead, or maybe even a bit more, a few more points against Chester Romans in this game. But
signs of life. Signs of life.
Yeah, and I like that. A bit of grit and fight, like, when you've had the season that they've had.
Well, they were live streaming this game?
I don't know. I know they started live streaming. I don't know. I don't know if they were. But that game, so it finished 42-16 to the Romans. So sort of, I suppose, I don't know, like normal services resumed in the end. But yeah, it did. Like they were sort of like jostling it out early doors.
I saw we shared a post from the Chester Romans. So they were up 16-14 at the half before giving up 28 unanswered points in the second half. Jesus, that's rough. But that sort of just culminates their season.
That's cool. Like
yeah.
I love the fact that they were 16-14 now.
For sure.
Like a glimmer of positivity in what's been quite a dark, otherwise dark season for them, right? Like that's decent. I'm glad they've done that.
So I saw a post that we shared, and it said like, help the Chester Romans make the playoffs.
That's another point I wanted to talk about. Go on.
And I tried to comment on it, but the internet was so shit it never actually fucking posted. But because I'm still in Cornwall. But it just said, I haven't got any money to donate, but here's a free tip. Don't get the shit kicked out of you by Sheffield in the weeks leading up to it. That was my advice to help them make the playoffs. I couldn't help them donate, but I felt like if it had posted, it might have worked because they've turned around and, yes, they were down 16-14 at the half, but the fact that they've turned around in the second half and slapped 28 unanswered on yes, it's Sandwell, but they've rallied at the end of the second half to make sure that it's now a more comfortable scoreline for them, sort of heading into the back end of their season. So I like to think that the advice I tried to post, got through.
It didn't. Just briefly, I want to talk about this. I think I've seen at least 3 teams putting GoFundMe's together this week to help get them to a playoff game. And that's, I think I've seen an under-19 team. The Full Dolphins are one. I think they're under 16s, and then obviously Chester. Yeah, and my controversial hot take is that any travel required in the postseason should be covered by BAFA.
I agree.
And if that means
teams should not be penalised for being good.
Would just be being put in that situation. Like that's shit. They've now got to worry about money on top of playing. They haven't worried about money all season, and now all of a sudden there's this financial thing. But I think BAFA should pay for it. I don't think they should have to worry about it at all.
I don't think they have. I don't think those points have to be mutually exclusive, right? It can show a lack of financial planning. I agree with that.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it should still be covered by BAFA. BAFA wants the best product, right? They want to provide the best product in their playoffs. They should be, exactly. Like, there's at least 50K that we could fucking send to teams to help them travel.
Does it include teams that are hosting playoffs? No, I just said it's travel. Like but I suppose what you're saying is costs incurred for hosting a game, so pitch rental or whatever. It's a good point. But don't you have the option of charging people to at home games? I suppose you may not always have that. It might just be in a field. But I think it's a good point. But I don't know the answer to it. I definitely think the travel thing should be covered. I suppose it depends on what your home game experience is, but you don't want anyone sort of out of pocket, do you? So
Carl's just mentioned the price of coaches right now are ridiculous. A couple of faraway games can put a lot of team in financial difficulty.
Yeah, so you eat it's better to forfeit than to, and let's say these teams don't raise that money, then what? One of the
thing. So Nathan said past 3 seasons the playoff teams had to pull out of the game for certain reasons. Was it Scunthorpe that didn't travel to Inverness last year? Who was it?
The Sturge pulled out of the
Or was it this? There was somebody pulled out of a Scotland away playoff game.
Right. Yeah. But it's happened in Uniball as well.
Yeah. So Tom's just mentioned under the same system as the regular season. Anything over 400 miles, you can request some help from BAFA. Ben's just said if BAFA knows where the finals are being held, they should have hotel booked, events organised, and travel covered. If they want to provide the best product, then at least try and make an attempt to look professional. And then so Tom's just mentioned it was the Staffordshire Surge that pulled out in the Scotland. Claiming the money from BAFA. Imagine the league subs next season. Scunthorpe did travel. I take it back. It was not Scunthorpe. Do not have a go at me. Scunthorpe they played their game. Like I know they did. Don't fucking lynch me in the comments. I take it back. Because I know we've got some very passionate Scunthorpe players that watch this. I'm sorry. By
that I mean, if teams are going to be funded for travel, isn't it fair that also? I think it makes sense. I think it's an interesting point, and I just think because I know this, like I said, like the Blitz, for example, they make money from home games, right?
I hate you, Nathan. I hate you.
I hate Scunthorpe. Yeah. And then there's other teams that do make money. So I think if a team's in a position where they actually have a net positive home game, I don't know, experience program, then BAFA doesn't need to give them money, right? So I think it's the whole receiving according to your means.
Equity as opposed to equality.
But then, the point about the over 400 miles, cool. But I think
400 miles. But 400 miles is a lot of fucking is a long way.
Yeah. Well, I
drove 500 miles yesterday. I can tell you.
If I remember correctly,
a long way.
One of the pool team, they were only asking for 500 quid because obviously there's fewer players or whatever. I think they just need a smaller bus and it's not so far. But I'm pretty sure the Romans were asking for $3,000. To raise money to go, and think about the amount of effort and sort of energy it takes to get that. And what happens if they don't? What happens if it's only 1,500 quid they raise?
They don't stand enough.
Do they go? Do they still go? Where does the other bit of money come from?
Because I'm assuming they're raising money because. I'm assuming they've got Highland away.
No. So this point for me, and no, you're not. You're giving them another chance to earn more money. There's no penalisation there. You're just earning more. You've got another instance to bring revenue into your organisation. No, you're not penalising them. You just, again, it's the whole receiving according to your means.
If they only raise 1,500 quid, Steve says half of them go. You just send the offense. So
exactly. Yeah. Well, they just travel halfway and ask to be met the other half. Yeah. I'm starting a hand jobs for playoffs funding.
Are you giving or receiving?
No. Let's not drag this conversation into the gutter.
Okay.
But yeah, that was it. I when I see that this week, so many teams asking for it. I was asking for money just to travel. I was like, surely, BAFA. So and I suppose it also opens up this whole. If BAFA are paying over 400 quid, why are Chester asking for $3,000?
I'm assuming they're probably wanting to stay over. But again, I think
right.
So Tom mentioned to me that you only qualify after you travel a certain distance, and I'm assuming that distance is 400 miles. And now is that I can't remember. So Chester look like they're coming to us in the wildcard weekend. Depends on Rams Vikings game. It's not cheap to travel. I don't know if it's 400 miles round or 400 each way. If it's 400 each way, it's a fucking joke.
It'll probably be 400 fucking IFAF miles as well, the prick.
Oh.
And they're longer.
400 miles. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Literally one after the other. One vote each way.
Can I present to you Britball? They're both so sure that they're right. And I don't know which one of them is right, so I can't repute either of them.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I think not.
No, I think you've deserved. I think you've. I think you do a neutral site for a bowl, like for a final. But teams deserve to have home playoff games.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
like,
if you finish top of your division, your family deserves to see you play in. Yeah. So Chester to Inverness is over a 7-hour journey each way, but only 379 miles. If it's 400 miles each way, that's fucking piss take. That is an absolute piss take if that's the case. Imagine being 21 miles short.
Just take the long route. Like take, scenic route.
Yeah. Road closures. So Adam's family's just sick of seeing him play. They can't wait for him to retire. Stop being so successful, Adam.
So yeah, that was another grenade.
Stop playing for well-run organizations. Go play for Darlington.
Yeah, you're ruining the sport.
With your reputable play. Right. Lovely close game in the NFC 1 South. Northants Knights 20, Birmingham 16.
You weren't allowed, Grandad.
He's not allowed to retire. He's not allowed to retire, I'm assuming.
Gotcha.
I'm guessing that Adam and Charlie are on the same team and having some little in-joke bants in the comments. The squadron are down the road. The squadron fucking folded. The squadron don't exist.
Yeah. Oh, don't. Right, let's move on. So, Northants Knight, I think that's a great, like that semi-close game or close scoreline, sort of what we were expecting. I think the Bruins picked that as the game of the week.
I can have a look.
Pretty
if
sure
they put it in the general.
Lucia said, come playoffs, travel should be lower to 300 miles. I think it should just be subsidised fully. But yeah, that's a step in the right direction, Alicia, definitely.
Yeah, Northants Birmingham game of the week. So that was what Sean said. So yeah, it was their game of the week. So well done. Like on picking the game of the week, and well done for both teams providing what hopefully was a good game to watch.
What seemed to be a game of the week, yeah.
Yeah. Well, good job. And good on the Knights, mate. Like good on Northants. I love seeing wins in the Northants column.
Yeah, we like Northants.
We fucking love Northants.
They're actually raising money for the local area air ambulance because of obviously the support they received from them earlier this season. So go and check that out. I would sooner put money into that than anyone traveling to a playoff game. I probably shouldn't say that, but just to let everyone know. Full length of UK is 600 miles, so 400 miles probably means Baffa won't. It's just stupid.
Not when you take stupid detours like I did yesterday, Tony, and you cut through the middle of the fucking country because I drove like 520 miles just to get from Cornwall to Newcastle. It was a cunt of a drive. Tom just said that adult and National Women's Football League teams mileage minimum was set to 400 miles round trip for each club making journeys in the regular season. Under 16, 19 team mileage minimum was set 350 miles round trip. Each club making journeys in the regular season. So I wonder what it's like for playoffs.
Same. He said same rules for playoffs.
Oh, same rules. So there we
go.
They
said earlier, yeah.
So Charlie's just said that talking of raising money, the fella that got his leg fucked is a GoFundMe from the Thunder.
Yes. We shared it.
Wonderful. Always like to see the help coming in for people who get injured in the sport because Baffa gives you none.
I worked it out for one of the guys, the Blitz guy, who got injured. There's been a couple of Blitz guys actually, but there was the Blitz guy that had his leg very severely broken.
Was that the one that I sent to you, or because I sent one? You don't check your DMs, do you? On Discord?
Yeah. I just forget stuff.
Yeah, I sent one to you on Discord, a DM about it.
I'll have a look.
Because someone had come to me directly with one and asked.
It was a horrific sight, that one. It was it was at Solent. There was a lot of blood. It was vile. And then I think it was Blitz B player, young player, very promising lad, broke
That
his
was the one.
neck.
Nick, that was the one I sent you. So back earlier,
He's not paralysed, by the way. Anyone listening, but yeah, they're
Haji.
Yes.
Yeah. So I sent you Haji's GoFundMe via Discord.
Yeah. So he's had the GoFundMe as well, and they're looking to raise more money to help him as well, which is cool.
Yeah.
So those are the things that no one ever wants to happen to them or their teammates, and I think there's a lot of sympathy around the sport for that.
Oh, for sure. Because the thing is, that sort of shit could literally happen to any one of us.
I worked out Haji's one based on I downloaded all the paperwork and read through it all, and all of the policies. I shouldn't say paperwork. Downloaded all the policies and read through it all, and worked out how much money he would get, and it wasn't much at all. It was basically dependent on how long he stays in hospital for. Beyond. I think the first 2 weeks you get nothing, so you have to stay in hospital longer than 2 weeks. And then I think it's only up to 7 weeks that they cover you for. Anything after that, they don't cover you. So this is like little window of money that you get, like a daily rate for. There's like a one-off payment for a certain type of bone break and whatever, and it just doesn't amount to hardly anything. So these, and that's why we always encourage people to get their own insurance. It's Ian's right there. So the community injury support is without a doubt the most beautiful part of Britball. BAFA also have got a they used to call it the benevolent fund, but that doesn't get used anymore because previously directors and people running the sport spent that fund with no paper trail, and it just disappeared. But there is I think they call it a hardship fund. I was speaking to Nicole about it a while ago. Nicole, the chair of BAFA, she said that there's, we're going to have a hardship fund, or we've got a hardship fund in place. So I let the Blitz know about that, so they could tap about it. Insurance is cheap, and exactly, yeah. Like and that's why the whole point of like getting your own insurance is constantly mentioned.
As Adam has just said, sports insurance is always worth getting.
Yeah, definitely.
Flynn just reckons get a job in management so you can do your job lying down.
Yeah, that's the thing. If people have got jobs where they need their bodies, like it's, you break an arm and you're a carpenter or some sort of tradesman, you're out for a bit, right?
So Tom's just asking if it's time to remove insurance from BAFA registration. Players looking to their own when they play, like when rugby does.
Is it time to remove insurance? I don't know. I don't care. I think BAFA lean too heavily on it.
I think they would find a way and change the wording of what your fucking registration fees pay for you. Like, we would not see a discounted registration fee. They would just come up with something else to cover the cost.
And
to no benefit.
Your motive for asking for it, you're probably not going to get any. They're never going to drop the fees, are they? It's only ever going to go up.
Yeah, there's no way that we could convince them to, like, we'd be like, right, scrap the insurance. They'd be like, okay, we'll scrap the insurance, but there's no discount because this you've always got for free, and we now have to charge for it.
Mm. League registration fee now is about 50 quid. I remember rightly.
Adam reckons you just start a very niche OnlyFans rather than going into management. And
great idea.
Coach Rains.
Imagine that. An OnlyFans, like for fetish people, like, oh, you broke your neck, have you? Show me.
Yeah. Let me see where your screws are.
Let me see your 3-week progress. Like,
let me see your iron halo.
Wiggle your toes. So it is 50 quid and 8 of it is insurance. Cheers, Coach. And then Coach Rains has also said, if only we had detailed accounts, we'd know if there is a I'm pisses me off. We never get anything like that you want. It is a massive ivory tower that Pete's joined and then Pete's built on top of. It's just shit. The whole governance of the sport is
a wonderful middle stump that he lives in.
Let's move on to. I think we're running quite late today, aren't we?
We are running a bit late. Right. So Olympians Hornets. Olympians 15. Olympians 15. Hornets 12.
I called that.
You called.
I didn't call the score. I called the result.
You called the result. Was that closer than what you thought it might be?
I would no, it's not. I would have expected at least one of the teams to get 3 scores. You know, be in the 20 points range. So a lot tighter than so a lower scoring game and obviously a tighter game than what I was thinking. But I also felt that could go either way. Like we could be sitting here now with a 32-5 with 32-6 scoreline with the Hornets being the winners, right? Like I just feel like it's.
I wanted them to win it so badly, just to keep proving that the Olympians are not the fucking team that you make them out to be.
Who? The O's are good, man. We'll see.
No, the O's are okay. They are the London Olympian Knights. They are the London Okays. The London Okays.
The London Okays. Oh, brilliant.
Moving through Rushmore, Hertfordshire. Ouch. Hertfordshire 35, Rushmore, nil point.
No. Norwich Devils 52, Essex Spartans 0.
I thought we'd already talked about that. Sorry.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't. Was to be kind of expected. It's been just a rough fucking year for Essex. We heard at the very, very early on that they were down about 40 players from the last year or two. Just guys retiring, moving on. So it's been a very, very rough year for them. It's also been a very rough year for the East Essex Sabres. So you start wondering, Essex Super Team?
Yeah, but are they close to? I don't know how far those teams are.
No, I have no fucking idea.
By the name, it sounds like they're really close.
But Essex is a big county. I have no idea. Norwich continue their march with the Star Spangled Banner playing behind them. 52 points.
The Yanks are coming. They're just thawing them out. They're all stretching.
The Yanks go marching 2 by 2. Hurrah.
Yeah.
Hurrah.
They're coming. The Americans are coming. The squadron is flying in.
So Andrew has just replied that they will both be back. So I'm assuming that means to both East Essex and the Spartans. I'd love it. I would love to see a bounce back from both teams. I had really high hopes for East Essex after their performance last year because I think they went 8-1-1 or 8-2-0, and I was like, mate, East Essex, like they didn't get qualification. I thought they were a powerhouse, and it's just been a rough year. It's about a 30-minute drive for the Spartans and Sabres. That's actually like a.
Ooh, that is a. So what would they be? What name would we call them? What would they call themselves? Spartans and Sabres.
The tanned Sabres.
Yeah, the tanning booth.
The tanning booth. Saber-toothed Spartans. And all it is you take the helm of Corinth, so where it comes down with the 2 stripes, it just turns into into 2 saber-toothed fangs. Yes! The saber-toothed Spartans, let's fucking go!
Essex Towies, that would be hilarious if someone did that.
Stop it. I don't want to hear about your trash.
Essex Stilettos, yeah.
Right. Devils, 52. Amazing.
Hold on. We got Ian's talked about. He's from the Devils. He's just popped something up. Yeah. It's a taboo if they USF. If they pull... Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How dare you be a grown adult and want
to
play?
Uniball is fine. You can't do it. But the Essex Joeys.
It's just Joey Essex's face with a condom on it.
Yeah, you're right. It is. Well, I think the reason why it's more taboo in senior ball is it's less sustainable for the club, whereas it doesn't really impact. As long as they can keep bringing them in, because it's such a short-term thing with Uniball, right? They just keep bringing them in, and that's that. But they keep bringing students in, so I think it's a little bit. That's why it's a bit more accepted. But but it's also been seen. It's been seen time and time again with teams in that area.
Right. So
I don't mind. I like I said, I like the Devils, man. And it's just funny to rib them because they definitely have got an injection of Americans. Yeah.
So David said in the case of the Sabres, has anybody gone undefeated to winless within one season? Can't think of it happening before. That was it. The Sabres went 8-0. It wasn't 8-2. They only played 8 games last year. They went 8-0 last year.
Oh, did they? So the Sabres.
In the division with the Renegades, the Renegades, Mavericks, and the Southeast Squadron, they went 8-0. And then now they're just fucking drowning. They're currently at 0-7-1. So they have got a draw with the Mavericks. And then Adam just talks about the that's a stat, man. He is the man. Thank you, LL Cooper. I just have whenever he goes looking for things, I have this image of like Ollivander from fucking Harry Potter just rummaging through these dusty shelves of like Britball records, and he's just like,
no, I'm more. I feel like it's more Minority Report. And he's he gets a glove on, and he like fucking and he's like putting a see-through tablet into something, getting different pieces of content from
Adam and Charlie are both right. They drew with Colchester. I forgot Colchester had 2 draws. They went back-to-back draws on 2 weeks, and then fucked me when I predicted them to draw a 3rd week in a row. Right, now we can move on to the other division. Hertfordshire Cheetahs, 35.
Yeah, that was a game I was at.
Rushmore, 0.
Yeah, I should have trusted my instincts and just gone home pre-game because I was just getting soaked.
So he said it's a little bit of Minority Report, a little bit of Ollivander looking through dusty books.
But it was hard watching the Knights. They had I'm not making excuses for them, but they had a lot of people missing and playing out of position.
Fuck off.
Okay, let me tell you, Hatch and DC played on the O-line.
DC is an O-lineman.
DC is retired.
So? He's still an O-lineman.
But that just shows you sort of like what was going on. And they had like Aaron, he just got named in the GB squad as like their number 1 running back apparently. They didn't play him at all because they don't want him to get injured.
Oh, well, guess what? Hertfordshire played a running back and he went for 15.7 yards per carry. 157 yards, 10 carries. Adam should have been the fucking GB running back instead of Aaron because Aaron didn't do a fucking thing.
He was so good. And I've been told about him by Craig. Beginning of the season, he's like, "Oh yeah, we got like our star running back, but he's injured at the moment. He's coming back, and you see him when he comes back. He's amazing. Oh my god,
maybe he should
he just glides through people and like he's a very special talent. So yeah, hopefully he stays healthy and keeps playing. And I think the Cheetahs are going to have one hell of a postseason.
I think it's so. Like, I know that Rushmore's not playing for playoff life, right? Like, they're already in. It's top 3 make playoffs. They're already in.
Oh, don't get me. They wanted to win yesterday. Like, they're not like sitting out a game.
But you're risking your best offensive weapon.
I was chatting to him afterwards, and one of the guys said he's been at the team 4 years playing, and that was the first. I think it was the first time that the Knights hadn't scored any points.
In the 4 years he'd been there.
In the 4 years he's played.
Well, that's because they, spent most of their time in Div 1.
But still, like, it was quite an interesting stat.
Because I remember many shutouts in the relegation season.
Right.
If Hearts beat Rushmore again, Bournemouth takes 2nd spot. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. They needed to win both the games. It may have been that they needed to win one.
Needed to win, but they need. I think.
Have you got?
if they win one, they still hold second.
Right. I need to. Alec Corpy put all the. What are they called?
Oh, the playoff scenarios.
Playoff scenarios. God, he put them all together.
Yeah. No, I'm just looking at the moment the fact that because Rushmore is 6-3 off 9 games and Bournemouth is 5-4. So Rushmore needs to win the reverse fixture to hold second.
And if they'd have beat the Cats twice,
there's never a better comment that I've ever seen. Just
good old Russ. But it's funny because Rushmore could have come first, second, or third. They can't come first now.
No.
But they had the opportunity to come first, second, or third. So the best they can hope for is second.
And they're staring down the barrel of third
because they're going to come third. I before I left them on yesterday, I said to them, you guys are going to get slapped next week or something like that, just to wind them all up. As I walked out, like a parting comment. But and
I bet you there was a whole bunch of fucking downed heads. Like, yeah, we are. We really.
No, they all kicked off the front. It was funny. A good group. Hearts will get promoted. It's written. Olympians beat Kent. Kent beat Solent. Solent beat Cambridge. Cambridge beat Hearts. Runners up win the next year.
That's quite cool. That's a cool little bit of trivia. Except Steve thinks Norwich is going to kick the shit out of everybody. So
yeah, I do. And I was chatting to Craig about it actually. He said, you don't back us in the playoffs, do you? I said, well, I want you to
depends how many Americans show up.
But yeah, you've got. I said I think everyone's going to get sideswiped by the Devils. We'll see.
I do love the Devils. Right. I do love the Devils.
Yeah, I like them.
See, why is it whenever I say I love team, there's never like a Oz loves Norwich confirmed. It's always just Oz hates.
Yeah,
everybody's always so quick to say the teams that I hate, but no one ever talks about teams I love.
Is the return fixture being streamed? No. So we've got. Let me just talk about streams quickly. So we've got one stream this weekend, which is Bournemouth versus Oxford, and then we don't have a stream in week.
Let's go, Sam Chance.
18, is it? What was that? Yeah, week 18 is just all Prem teams. There's only Prem teams playing, and we originally had Kent Exiles versus Cambridge, but the Exiles have asked us not to live stream the game.
We were looking at another game to live stream for that one.
So no,
someone asked us last week if we could live stream.
Yeah, well, let me fucking finish. That's what I was just going to talk about. So I spoke to the Warriors about streaming the Warriors versus the Aztecs. And that's not possible because the Warriors need to give about a month's notice for someone to live stream their games based on their venue. And they said that there would be a fee involved in doing so.
What?
If there was a fee, like we're saying, no, I'm not paying anything to live stream a game for free. But yeah, so the Warriors, it basically isn't possible.
So where did the Warriors fucking play?
Huh?
Where's the Warriors' home ground again?
It's like Greenwich University, I think.
And so they have to ask the university to live stream a game a month in advance.
That's what they said.
Damn.
Or it's somewhere, or a university in Greenwich. I don't know what. We've already live streamed there with KCL, but I think KCL where they're, so it might be KCL's facility, but we have live streamed there a game. I think it was KCL Reading. Why?
Because they're struggling.
Ask you not to? Yeah, just through like humiliation. Like they don't want more attention on their sort of current downfall. And I was like, yeah, cool. Like
that will be the last game. That will be their last game of the season, and before relegation. Like they are going down. That's the last game that they'll play before they're back in Div 1.
Greenwich University it is.
Yeah.
Coach Raines has said.
They live stream games on their own Instagram.
Yeah, they do. They don't live stream it. They do play by play. They do really good coverage of their games on Instagram stories.
But they asked for permission for that 4 weeks ago.
Potentially, I don't know, but that's all I know is what I've been told, and I don't. I just take what people tell me at face value. I don't want to go back and tell what about this, what about that, how come this, how come that. I don't.
If people want to lie, to you, they can lie to you.
And it takes a lot of my time. Like my Sundays are about 12 hours of doing shit because I have to get there about 2 hours early. I have to travel. It's about an hour and a half to get to somewhere usually. Then I'm 2 hours. Then the game. Then after the game, I've got to close and pack all my kit up, travel home. When I get home, I typically get home around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. If it's 7 o'clock, I have to put my kids to bed. And then I need to come back out and do the scores and like find all the scores and put them all in and then process them through the website so that then Hatch can do the scorecard post. So it's about 12 hours of a day. And like, I'll travel the path of least resistance. I'm not going to argue and debate with people about stuff so if they said to me, oh yeah, we can do it, but there's this fee to pay. Like they said, there's a fee related. No matter what that fee was, I'd say no. Because like, I'm not, I'm doing this.
You're doing them a service. You're doing them a service.
I'm not. And it, the same goes for anyone that makes things difficult for us. Like, so if people try to make things difficult for us, not that that's happened, I'd be like, oh yeah, well, I'm packing my stuff up. Fuck you, right? Like, I don't care. So yeah, I want this. I'm putting a lot into it, and I'm not going to go the extra mile, or like I say, I'll travel the path of least resistance to bring stuff to people.
I was going to say, you've already pretty much gone the extra mile by providing a free streaming service for clubs.
Yeah. All out of my own fucking pocket as well, right?
Exactly.
So I people are saying different things. Oh, why didn't this one? I didn't ask any further questions. I'm cool with it. We're not going to stream a game that day. We don't. So I'm going to go and watch the game. I'm going to go and watch the Warriors play the Aztecs.
So Carl said, "Would love to have you for the return fixture for Giants versus Northants on Sunday, but no, you're already elsewhere. Hopefully that they can host you next season." So I'm assuming Carl's linked up with Northants because I know that you guys had a good time live streaming the first game between.
That's
obviously
up until. I'm not going to go to Sheffield to live stream a game.
Well, I wouldn't want to go to Sheffield anyway, mate. Just shoot all. Right. So Steve reckons it's probably insurance. In fairness, they had to clear it with Solent Uni. If you remember, you had to supply them with documents. Ian says you should drive slower. He's completely puts to bed.
Yeah, I know. I do consider that sometimes. But I've got no reason to not believe them. By the way, like, I'm not saying I don't believe them at all, but it's not a low resistance path for me. And you can see here, Coach Rains is like, oh, we handled that, and he did handle it. With the Southampton Stags, they wanted to see public liability insurance, and we've got that. So I was able to. No, that's fine. I don't mind sharing a document. And there was a couple of other things like just risk assessment stuff they asked me to sign. No problem with that. Yeah, but if it's going to take me a lot of time, and I'm looking at justifying stuff, or I'm expected to do things and certainly pay for things, then no, like I'd rather just go somewhere else. Like I don't need it. But I'm not saying that's what happened with the Warriors. That's not the reason. The reason is that there's not enough time to get through that red tape for this game. So that's why it's not happening. But we can't live stream their games next year. It's probably something we'll start talking about at some point because we'll have that lead time and we'll be able to get it all sorted.
So in the other game in the SFC 1 West, the Apache 20, Oxford Saints 8. So continues a miserable season for Oxford. They're going down, and the Apache continue to show mixed form.
My red tape is called the A9.
Yeah,
is that a road?
It's the main road between sort of like the Inverness and the rest of Scotland, essentially.
You fall foul of my other rule, which is an hour's travel. Although I do break that rule occasionally, like Bristol, Bournemouth. They're all they're about an hour and a half from me.
There's an airport up there, bro. You can fly there.
I'm trying to set up multiple teams. Once the semi-finals are over, hopefully we'll get to live stream some semi-final games. We obviously won't get any finals because that's BAFA that arranges them, and they hopefully they'll pay for on side to do it. But then I've got time to start looking for sponsors and stuff, and then we can then look at what we're doing next year. But
the only game in the NFC 2 East was a forfeit because fuck the presidents. They didn't want to play against Humber and get the shit kicked out of them, so we can just kick the shit out of them in social media instead. Just poor. But one of us picked that it was going to be a forfeit, and the other one said they were going to play it.
Oh, shut up! Sorry.
Right, moving on.
I apologise for
you apologise for trying to.
I apologise, and I'm not apologetic, which doesn't make sense. Yeah. But I apologise that I've got a romance for the game, and I love it.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah. You apologise for trying to see the best in teams, not realising that shit cunts will be shit cunts.
GoFundMe for the nah. Yeah.
NFC 2
and ask people for money. I want to get the whole point of this model is that we get money from corporate entities to pay for everything. People,
we want it to be sustainable.
Yeah, and not look for money. I'm fed up of people that are taking money from the fucking sport and using it elsewhere. I want to take money from elsewhere and put it into the sport. That's the fucking difference. So no, I'm not going to do GoFundMe.
NFC 2 West, Staffordshire Surge 19, Lincolnshire Bombers 0.
Yeah,
we both picked the Surge.
Just a nothing thing to comment on. I don't know much of anything about the game, but
don't know a thing about the game. Kind of hoped Lincolnshire might score some points, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Revs 39, Railroaders 0. I saw a few comments on social media from the Revs guys saying, well played by the Railroaders and it's so true.
MP and Steve.
Yeah, it's so true. I'm like, and moving on to the other score. I saw a lot of comments on social media from the Revs guys, and they were saying sort of big ups to the crew Railroaders for essentially fulfilling all their fixtures, playing hard on the field. 39 points is a big massive victory. But then I saw reverse comments from the Railroaders towards
you guys are assholes.
No, not at all. Actually, they were like, you guys were really graceful in victory, and so it's good to see that
the mutual masturbation.
Yeah, I'm happy to see a circle jerk in that instance.
I'd rather see a little bit of
a bit of niggle
stick from the players, a
little bit of niggle.
Yeah.
I like niggle between two teams that are evenly matched. I don't like niggle between where one team is clearly a lot fucking better than the other team, and they're like, oh, we're so much better than you, and it's like, well, maybe you both shouldn't be in the same fucking division. And if you were just put here by chance, and you should be a division, if for example, if Humber if Darlington had played against the Northumberland Vikings, and then the Vikings had been like, you're so fucking shit, and it's like, well, they shouldn't have been in this division because they're not that good. But they're a poorly run organisation anyway, so I don't mind people taking the piss out of Darlington.
This one, it's another one for you because I called, but these are the interconference games, aren't they?
Yeah, you did call Berkshire. What were you thinking?
I just felt like it. I remember I said, I don't know if you remember, but I said I'm going to call for an upset. I think there's going to be an upset this week because we had so many upsets last week.
Yeah, we'd sort of fallen in lockstep.
Yeah, and I like us to have differentials. So this was one, and I fucking came out worse.
Wrong. and then the last game that we got to predict together was the Stampede over Cornwall, which apparently was a great game. We've been told it was a really good game. Swindon Storm made a bad situation. Torbay pulling out. Good this weekend by playing an internal charity game with a few old boys and raised over $2,000 for mine.
That's awesome. I didn't know that, Andy. That's something we should probably do an article on. Tebs, if you're watching, do some journalism stuff.
Yeah, like actually do some fucking journalistic shit. And
No, that's not what I said. Don't add
no,
all
that's what I said. No, that's what I said. That's what I said.
No, but you're not. You don't tell him what to do. I suppose you can on this show.
Yeah, bitch, this is my show.
You just hate us, don't you? Yeah, that's it, Rachel. You've outed me. No, I like Somerset. Like I said,
he's Pompey through and through.
I lived there. My sister was born there. I remember. I've got memory. I was about 3, and I can remember stuff.
That's huge, though. Andy, reach out to Tebs. Get him to do an article on it.
Yeah, it's really no. Tebs needs to reach out to them.
But Tebs, no. But what I'm saying is, Tebs might not be watching.
It doesn't matter.
He needs.
I'll tell him.
You'll tell him, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, we can't expect Tebs to write something he doesn't know about if he's not fucking watching.
Well, he should be watching. It's all media. He's in charge of media. This is media. I don't even want to do it. I don't even want to do the live streaming. That's all media. I want to focus on development.
And then there was 3 games that we kind of just had to pick off because I used up all the internet in Cornwall.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you had to go to the generator.
Yeah, had to go spin the hamster wheel.
It's 4 games. It's 4 games.
What the fuck was the 4th?
Oh, Swindon, but Swindon and Torbay, but that was a 4th.
It was a walkover because Torbay was shit, and so Swindon played an internal game and raised shitloads of money.
There isn't really. So you want to. I think there's some very good talking points in these 3 games. So you're looking to skim through them.
I'm not.
I think Sussex Thunder need to be talked about. They have turned their fortunes around as a club. In my opinion.
Have they?
I think that yes. I don't think that. I thought they were like dying a death.
It's turning their fortunes around. It's turning their fortunes around. Literally losing 40 points to 6 last week.
Yeah. I'm talking about this week. This is the rundown from this week.
Yeah, but so you can't see them turn their fucking fortunes around. When they literally just they got the shit kicked out of them.
No, I know of players.
Well done turning your fortunes around and beating a winless team. No,
I know that they've started to attract a lot of players back there, and you know, prior to the transfer window shutting, players were like moving over there, and I think I don't think things are as dire there as they have been. I think things are starting to turn around. That's I genuinely mean that.
This week,
just over the course of 4 or 5 weeks.
Oh, okay. So not including last week though, where they got the shit kicked out.
Oh my god! Fuck off.
Things aren't so dire. They only lost by 34 points last week.
Okay. It's an anomaly in the data set, which is fine, right?
Things aren't so dire.
I didn't say they only lost
24 to.
I said that things are going in the right direction. That they're trending in the right direction. They're doing the right things. Yeah, they lost the game. Fucking
2 games. They lost 2 games.
So what?
Things aren't so dire. When they lost 28-14 to East Kent, they then only lost 24-6.
Shut up. I think they've turned from a team that were just going to disintegrate and not exist to a team that are now on the up and are now going to do better. I'll call it now. Next year, they will be in the playoffs.
We have no idea what the fucking playoff structure is going to look like. They could end up like Nottingham, which is fucking falling face first into the playoffs because everybody else folds around them.
Sussex Thunder for the playoffs 2024.
Do they win a playoff games? Do they win a playoff game?
I didn't say that.
No, that's why I know you didn't say that. That's why I'm asking the fucking question.
Why are you doing this?
Because I want to know the answer. Do they
win
a playoff game?
First playoff game.
They win their first playoff game. I'll take that bet.
What bet? Where's a bet?
That's what I'm saying. We'll make a bet. We will make a bet that
it's a hot take.
Oh, okay. So you know what hot take isn't. You know what a hot take is, right? It's a prediction.
I just said it.
Yeah, but it's a prediction that's based against logic. It means it's an improbable outcome. So so you're not saying. So by you saying a hot take, that means that Sussex hasn't fucking really turned it around, right?
It does. It does mean
it doesn't because it's a hot. If you're saying it's a hot take, then If you're saying it's a hot take, it means it's an improbable outcome. So the probable outcome is they're still going to be fucking shit next year.
Nah, they won't be. They'll be fine.
Well, then it's not a hot take.
Cool, cold take.
Cold take. Well, that's where you've just been. I was being a troll again. It must be a Monday. Cold take is where you make a take and it's wrong and you're exposed. And
a hot potato. I don't fucking know. It's my prediction for the future for next season. One of many.
So it's not a hot take. So you think the logical?
I think it is a hot take. I just think you're being twat.
What? I'm not being a twat.
You are. People are calling you out in the chat.
Tom called me a troll. That's it. And Russell just doesn't understand why we're getting so wound up over Sussex.
Predicting anything next season is not a hot take. No contracts, any player can move. That's my hot take.
So your hot take. All right. So you're predicting they win a playoff game. I'm predicting they don't.
It will be shit next year. The London Blitz.
The O's.
Saying that because
the O's will be shit next year.
He's gonna fucking hate that. Anyway, right, let's go to the next game.
Yeah, moving on. The Mavericks versus Colchester.
Close game.
7-0.
Yeah, but I think the team who we thought won. Did we both go for Mavericks?
We both picked the Mavericks to win. The last time these two teams played, they drew 0.
There's like nothing between them, is there?
That's fucking wild to me, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, 0 draw is wild to me.
Yeah.
But so last time they played, they drew 0. So literally 2 full games played, 7 points scored. 7 total points scored in 2 full games.
Yeah, mental. Mavs number 1, Somerset number 2, Div 1 South.
Div 2 South.
Div 2 South, sorry.
So I'm assuming that's playoff
seedings. He's going playoff seedings. Yeah. I'm not even talking about him yet. Can't do it.
Yeah, and then we had the Dreadnoughts, Ouse Valley, 19-0. A little bit of an eyebrow raise.
No, I like Portsmouth.
So Mavericks had a TD callback, despite photo evidence showing he was in bounds. Overruled by the sideline judge on the other fucking side of the field.
Does it? Like you can't go up to a ref and show them footage or anything. Like in the finals, they do have I suppose a version of VAR, just replays that there's a replay booth for the refs to look at. But in the regular season, there's nothing that's in place for that. But he just said it.
Yeah, he knows. And so windy, rainy game. I enjoyed this.
Imagine if they did, and people were quickly like editing stuff.
Oh, mate.
How good would that be?
You can't be saying Specsavers ahead after your tackle.
What's that?
So I'm assuming there's another in-joke based on the game, but both teams averaged over 20 points per game, and they got 1 touchdown in 8 quarters between the Mavericks and the Glads.
That's a good stat.
But I never understand. So Charlie said should have been 13-0, straight up Specsavers moment from the refs. And then apparently he must have fucking either clotheslined someone or just missed him cold when making a tackle.
Yeah, well, there was one.
Charlie made the biggest hit of the game on their own player.
Doesn't matter. They all count.
Yeah.
He still gets the hammer or whatever.
Mate, or whatever. Head on a swivel. Expect opposition from anywhere.
Just saying that on ref calls, there's a funny part in the Cheetahs Knights game from yesterday where sort of, I don't know, for about 15 minutes basically we got it clear on tape because Kwame sent me the footage.
Oh, the fumble.
The QB takes a snap, goes to hand it off, can see pressure coming and just spikes the ball, and then the player dives on it. The Knights player dives on it, and the refs don't give it. They said, "Oh, it was a forward pass. There was someone in the area." I'm like, what the fuck? He clearly spiked it. But yeah, and then after that, I was going, "Oh yeah, of course, that's why they're called the cheaters and all this sort of stuff." Like just winding them up and saying that they paid the refs off and stuff. But yeah, clear as day, the guy just spikes the ball and then it doesn't get called.
But isn't a spike? And it
a spike has to be immediately done after the snap. So you can't take a couple of steps back, but certainly not try and hand the ball off or even do a pump fake and then spike it.
Was there not a running back somewhere around?
It doesn't matter.
No, but what I'm saying is if there's a running back in the if he throws it forward and there's a running back in the area, then there's a
throw it forward. He spiked it.
Yeah, but forward or backwards or
doesn't
to the
matter.
side.
It's a spike motion.
But it doesn't. It does.
It doesn't.
It's a passing motion.
One step then spike is all that's allowed. Thank you. And I knew this. I knew this because Mike told me about it.
I get that, but this is still a fucking pass.
No, it's a spike.
Who are you to decide what motion is for a pass?
I'll send you the footage and you'll say,
I've seen the fucking footage.
Well,
all that matters did it go forward?
The fucking rules.
Did it go forward? No, because if it goes forward, it's still a passing motion. You can do underhanded
passing motion. A passing motion is past your head.
No, it's not. Have you ever watched a fucking game of football? You can have shovel passes. That's not a fucking overhand motion. You can do underhand. If you throw it into the ground, you've thrown it into the ground. It's an incompletion.
It was a spike.
If it's gone forward, you've thrown it away.
The tuck rule.
Oh, don't. Fucking don't.
On the stream, I don't know if you've watched the past beyond.
I watched the clip. That's all I've seen.
So beyond that, I carry on say that he can't do that. It's not. And Woolly Mike was watching it, and he said, "Yeah, Steve's right. You can't do that. This is a illegal spike or whatever the fuck it is." So Mike even validated it, and he was the one that had taught me about it. I didn't even know about it until one of the games this season. Are you gonna spit?
No, I was looking for a fuck to give.
Oh, now that you've been proven wrong.
No, because it's still a forward pass. It's
not a forward pass.
It is. If it goes forward, it's a forward pass.
It's a spike. I'm not. There's no point talking more. I'll just get Mike to tell me the rules, and then we'll screenshot it from the rule book, and then you can.
Okay.
You can argue with Bafra.
Well, I don't need to argue because it was already ruled on the field, and they said it was an incomplete pass.
Oh, sorry. Spiking is not a pass. It was a spike. And even if it was a forward pass, you'd say it was intentional grounding, but it wasn't that. It was a spike.
No, that's why I'm asking if there's a running back in the area, because there's a running back class as a receiver.
That's what the refs said. They said the player
so they ruled it player in the area.
Yeah, it didn't get called as a turnover. They punted the ball away.
Yeah. So the refs already called it.
But
your ref on the sideline didn't like it.
No, Mike was watching from home, but it was. I don't know why so now you do give a fuck, but you didn't.
No, I never gave a fuck to begin with. I just enjoy arguing with you on these.
I was going to get Mike to send you the rules. I'm really surprised you don't know it.
Definitely not going to read it.
So why argue then?
Because that is still like
it wasn't that. It wasn't that. That's what I'm fucking saying. And you've seen the footage. The ball's actually here, and he went boom. He didn't even fucking bring it up. He just smashed it onto the floor. Oh, there's Mike. Yeah, someone must have messaged him. Spike take one step, more steps, or any other action is intentional grounding.
But it wasn't ruled.
And what is a spike? That's what Oz's argument is. What is a spike? What's the definition of a spike? Anyway, right, let's move on to while they're checking.
Kwame comes out and says it's definitely a fumble. See, you said it was a fumble. You said it was a fumble, but Mike says it's intentional grounding. So it's not a fumble. Intentional grounding is not a fumble.
Spike can take one step, more steps, or any other action
is intentional grounding. That's not a fumble.
I said on the live stream it's a fumble. Mike said I was right.
Intentional grounding is not a fumble.
I fucking know that.
Do you? Because we've just been arguing about that. I said it wouldn't be a fumble.
Yeah, I know. But I'm telling you that yesterday when I talked about it, Mike said I was right, and what I said was
I'm reading now.
That's a fumble. You've even heard the clip where I say that's a fumble.
Know. And I'm reading now. Any other action is intentional grounding.
More steps or any other action is intentional grounding. Okay.
So he's changed his position.
Yes. But
so it's not a fumble.
Fine. But they didn't even get an intentional grounding call. But I still think it's a fumble.
Right, but it's not. It's intentional grounding.
I don't know. I'm going to check. We're
going to. This is what the rules expert said. You were lauding Mike's rule book knowledge to me. He's just told you it's intentional grounding, and now you're going to check.
What? He told me yesterday that it wasn't.
Yeah, and now he's obviously gone and checked his rule book, and he's told you what's not. No, he hasn't. So he's only wrong when when he doesn't agree with you.
Yeah.
Right, Dreadnoughts 19, Ooze Valley 0.
We already started talking about that one. You seemed shocked by it.
I thought the Dreads might score more. I wonder if
right. No,
I'm wondering if they're a little bit shook from the Somerset because they took a fucking pasting in the Somerset game, and I'm wondering if there's still sort of a hangover from that, and whether there's some key injuries or something that we're not hearing about. Yes.
Maybe.
We're moving on, Mike, but yes, refs called it wrong if it's still intentional grounding. Cool. Yeah, so it's just I don't know. Like I feel like the Dreads at the start of the season would have put more on.
Right.
So Nick said the Dreads played a nicely paced game with some players missing. So
cool.
It's
I don't know, like that. With these cross-divisional games, they're the most difficult ones to predict, I think.
Well, because they played earlier on in the season. Last time these two teams played, Dreadnoughts beat them 41-0. That's why I was expecting more.
Yeah.
Okay, I get there's a big difference between early season games and late season games. A lot of injuries can happen. Players can come back. Players can transfer. Rah. But I think going into this, after they had been severely bottom paddled by Somerset the game before, I was wondering if we might see a bit of a bounce back and sort of regression to the mean of scoring for Portsmouth in terms of putting up more points. But power to Ooze Valley, obviously didn't score anything, but this was at one point a high-powered Portsmouth offense that we were looking at throughout the season, and to hold them to 19 is a good effort. Yeah.
It'd be good to know more about the backstory of that game.
Yeah.
But all good. Right. What time? Oh, mate, we got fucking look at the fucking time because you argue about shit.
So do you. You argue with me. Don't. We can speed through the predictions like we always do.
Right, go on then.
I'm just bringing them up. It's not just
Kwame keeps going on about your fucking cat.
I'm just ignoring. I forget that Kwame even exists. It makes life much better. NFC 1 Scottish. Clyde Valley, Highland Stags.
Stags.
Yeah, Stags.
You've missed the game. Oh, we missed the game.
What game have we missed?
Oh, yeah, Rachel, what game have we missed?
Did Somerset play? Because I'm assuming that's probably why she would bring it up.
No, we talked about Somerset.
No, we didn't.
Commented at the time.
We did not talk about Somerset.
I thought we did.
Nope.
Okay.
We didn't predict Somerset. Otherwise, we would have talked about it.
Dags winning.
No, it was Somerset versus Berkshire. We didn't actually talk about the game. We didn't talk about it.
Cornwall game didn't go ahead.
Cornwall Hereford. We talked about that.
Cornwall Torbay.
No, we talked about Cornwall. It was Cornwall Torbay. It was Cornwall Hereford.
Cornwall Torbay, and it was a walkover, and we did.
No, Torbay was played Swindon.
Sorry, I'm in the wrong week.
Cornwall played Hereford. We did talk about it. It was very brief.
Yeah, we did.
Just because we didn't really know much about it, but apparently Cornwall came out and gave Hereford a bit of a showing.
I was looking at week 17.
We'd heard from other people that it was a really good game between the two of them, but from the scoring, it shows to be a tight game, but well done to Hereford. They continue on, and I think that gives them top of the division now. And Cornwall, not struggling as much as they had historically, I guess. I don't know.
You can't tell it. I don't think you can take. It's really hard to take stuff away from those cross-divisional games.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's already the longest rundown ever, isn't it? Fucking 2 hours.
No, most about 2 hours, but we'll get out of here in the next 10, 15 minutes. Tigers, Roughnecks.
Tigers.
It's going to be the Tigers, doesn't it? The Roughnecks. What has happened to the Roughnecks this season?
I think it's that they're not going to have playoff ball, and then they just sort of peel off.
They've just dropped right off. Inverclyde Dunfermline's a walkover. So Yorkshire. Yorkshire plays the Vikings.
Yeah, the Vikings.
Yeah, for sure. They lock in their undefeated season and go into the playoffs on a win.
Yeah.
Walkover between Lancashire Wolverines and Halton Spartans. So the reverse fixture between the Sheffield Giants and the North Ants Knights.
I'll go Sheffield Giants.
I'm taking North Ants.
Yeah. That's partly why I did it, but I do think Sheffield are going to win that game.
I want North Ants to win it because... Yeah. Birmingham, Samwell.
Birmingham.
But yeah, it's got to be the Bulls. I mean, Samwell's been plucky this season, but not really to any avail.
No.
Right, SFC 1 Central.
Yeah, we know who's going to go for which team on this one, surely.
Yeah. Blitzby for me, Olympians for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the Spartans?
Yeah, I would have liked to have split on this, but I'll go. I've got to go with Wembley. I think.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's just having a tough season.
Yeah, I agree with that exactly. It's kind of begets logic to go the other way. Right, reverse fixture. Reverse fixture. SFC 1 West, Rushmore versus Hertfordshire.
Rushmore.
You still take it? Oh, do you reckon your little speech has boosted their spirits? No.
What? Fucking. As I left the clubhouse. Yeah.
You're gonna fucking lose next week.
Yeah. You got no chance. You're gonna get slapped. Anyway, Apache, South Wales. I'll go Apache.
Did South Wales? They won one last week. Not last week. Sorry, they won. Their one game that they won, was it against Oxford or was it against the Apache? I can't remember.
Saying they beat Oxford.
They beat Oxford. Okay.
Yeah, because they lost 3-0 and then they won something like 20-odd nil.
25-2. Yeah, they did beat the Apache 3-0 as well, though.
Oh, did they? Well, good for them.
Yes.
But I think Apache are going to win.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take the Apache as well. There's no point me angering Bristol any more than I already have. Bournemouth, Oxford.
Bournemouth.
Is it Bournemouth with Sam Chance? Do we know?
Yeah, I hope so. I think he's still healthy. Yeah, good old Sam.
Sam.
There's another clip for his.
Clip this into your wank bank. Humber versus the Wakefield District Raiders.
Humber.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's going to be a painful lesson for the District Raiders coming in as they make their march towards playoffs.
Hey, I got it right. I should be the one that's soaking up all the plaudits for saying the Raiders are going to be all right this year.
Going to be all right this year. I think they could make playoffs with a losing record.
Yeah, it's good.
That's not good. That means the playoff structure is broken.
Yeah, it is. It's fucked. It's just me taking a piss out of it. But yeah. Right, what's the next one? Lincolnshire Bombers versus the Shropshire Revolution. Easy one.
Taking the Revs.
I think again, like there's a number of teams, and I think Lincolnshire are in that team, in that group where they got nothing to play for. That, like, you know, what's the point? They're playing the best team in the conference. It is at home, so at least they ain't got to travel far. So the game will go ahead, but
it's just game time now.
Yeah. Hereford Stampede and Berkshire Renegade.
Okay, so question on that then. Do Wakefield fold it against Humber?
Fold it? What? Don't. No. Wakefield have got playoff football. They're flying high. They're doing
But what
great.
I'm saying is they're secured for playoff football. Do they take a strategic?
Yeah, but that doesn't. Yeah, if you've secured playoff football, you don't. I think this should be part of it. Actually, if you do end up forfeiting a game, you shouldn't get any playoffs for maybe 2-3 years anyway, right? But like that needs to be brought in. But these guys are loving football at the moment. I imagine. I don't know anyone there or any. You know,
I was going to say, who have you been speaking to for Wakefield?
You've got to be flying high if you're in the Wakefield District Raiders.
I'll ask the missus if she's happy that Wakefield's going to be making the playoffs because she's from around that area.
I was going to say city. I don't know if it's a city or a town, but the whole town is just buzzing, right?
Like, the whole town of Wakefield is buzzing.
They're getting the bus ready. They're going to do a parade no matter what.
Mate, I can tell you, the whole town of Wakefield is definitely buzzing, but not because of playoff football.
Tom said that's the rule: forfeit game, and you don't. Yeah, but I think you shouldn't get playoffs. Good that that's the case, but you shouldn't get it for a few years. So, you know, you get fucking dropped down into the division below, and you got to fucking stay there for 2-3 years.
All right. Well, moving forward to SFC. Berkshire. Yeah, Hereford, Berkshire.
Go on, you go first.
I'm picking the Stampede.
Yeah. I'll go Berkshire then.
Revs? Renegades.
Renegades, yeah, not the Revs. Yeah. By the way, send these to Hatch straight away after this.
Yeah, I'm going to. It's because my internet died last time, so I couldn't fucking.
Yeah.
Because I was working on my work computer.
What about every other day after that until Friday?
I was in Cornwall, like on holiday.
Oh, you used it up for the week, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
No, it's because I was on my work computer when I was doing it. And I don't have Discord on my work computer, so usually I will snip this straight from the Google sheet that I work on, put it onto Discord. So I had to fucking log onto my work computer, go onto the Google sheet, snip it, fucking WhatsApp it to myself, go onto Discord on my phone, send the fucking screenshot across to him.
That's a lot of internet.
Mate, my sister couldn't watch Netflix for a week.
Yeah. They're still reeling from it.
Mate, I'm still paying the bill.
Right, last game.
Ipswich Cardinals, Colchester Gladiators.
I will go Colchester.
I'm taking Ipswich.
Cool. That's good.
That is good.
Oh, I'm sure I go to sleep.
Fucking hell, there's not a lot of games this week.
Well, there's no Prem because of GB.
And there's 3
GB France. Oh yeah, who do you think is going to win in GB France?
France.
Fuck you. I'll definitely go in GB. Obviously, I'm going GB. I just hope they live stream it. They haven't posted a live stream yet.
You asked me who I think was going to win, not who I wanted to win.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's
because we have got 17 games, but there's 3 fucking walkovers because 3 teams have folded.
Right. Yeah. It's not typically 17 games a week, isn't it?
Yeah. So it would have been 17 without the Prem, but we've got 3 walkovers.
Okay. And then it's on to the final week, which is just Prem.
Yes.
This is the last week for Div 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Have we got a live stream this week?
What, for the GB game? Oh, us. We're live streaming Bournemouth, Oxford.
We got Bournemouth, Oxford.
Hopefully, GB and France is being live streamed, but I think they're keeping quiet about it because they want to. I don't think they want to be outdone by the crowd at the last GB women's game, which was quite good. I think they're staying quiet in a bid to sell more tickets. But it'll be a huge step backwards if they don't live stream the game.
Where is the game?
Coventry.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
Willie Mike,
the name of the place is the stadium.
I don't know if you've seen it, but Willie Mike has posted the screenshots of the rule book into our Discord.
Oh, what a legend.
Wording of the ruling is spiking is that illegal forward pass if not thrown immediately after controlling the ball. So not a fumble, but should have been called a foul.
So it's definitely a fumble. Right. So
not a fumble.
Definitely a fumble. Right. So
Labs versus Ipswich is winning in.
Yeah.
Well, and, Ipswich need to win by 9. So Glabs need to win. Ipswich need to win by 9. Colchester only need a tie. Well, they've been fucking all over those this year, so.
yeah. Would that be their third tie of the year?
It would be, if they got another tie, it'd be their third draw of the year.
Cool. Right. Let's stop because it's 2 hours and 11 minutes now.
Yes, it is.
It's all your fault for being
big turnaround for the
argumentative.
Big turnaround for the Monarchs this year. How do you feel about Cornwall up and coming? Don't.
What turnaround? They were. I didn't even notice Cornwall.
I mean, they nearly beat Hereford, I suppose. Yes, so the under-16 final is on Saturday. So the Highland Wildcats are travelling to Loughborough. Go the Wildcats.
You'll be travelling to Loughborough with your Wildcats merch.
I'm going to Oppenheimer, so I definitely won't be. And then I might go see Barbie. I don't know. I haven't decided. I might do the Barbenheimer experience.
Yeah, it's weird. It's been like the marketing for both of those.
Co-marketing.
It's been mental, isn't it? But it's fun. Anyway.
Yeah, so Jeff's like, how the fuck are we talking about Cornwall when they've only won one game against Torbay and Torbay literally folded?
Yeah, he said that twice, by the way. He said it earlier. Steve, come and play for Solent. No. As someone that's from Portsmouth.
No.
Solent are based in an SO postcode. They're scum.
Mate, I've never called anybody scum on this podcast. I've called people some bad things, but I've never called anyone
scum.
You're
not from Portsmouth?
No, I'm not.
That's what we call them. Even my mum will say...
Even my mum is scum.
Yeah, my mum.
Sandy is not scum. Sandy is not scum.
My mum will say, like, she'll say either, oh, I'm going to scum or scummers, like, refer to people from Southampton. Like, it's just ingrained in us.
But the thing is, right?
Oh, I can't play for an SO postcode team.
It's not unique. I thought it was unique, right? It's not. Up here.
Well, they also call them scum.
No, they call Sunderland Mackems predominantly, but they'll also refer to Sunderland as scum as well. And it just in my head, I was like, it must have something to do with where were the Thrashers when you played for them?
The Thrashers were they were in Winchester when I played for them.
That's not an SO postcode, is it? Because Winchester is.
It is.
Oh, you lied then.
I know. Hold on, let me check.
But no, it's like Newcastle refers to Sunderland as scum as well.
Yeah, they're just copying us.
And I thought it might have had something to do with the fact that they both play in red and white in terms of soccer. Like both teams are playing red and white. And so for a Cornish team to run division champs close is not good. Also, Portsmouth only scored defensive team on
Is that so?
Right. So, for a Cornish team to run division champs close is not good. Also, Portsmouth only score on special teams. Cornish defense closed Portsmouth down. So, but you still only won one game all season against a team that ended up folding. Like, did something... Winchester is SO22.
Yeah, I just looked. It's an SO postcode.
Did something happen to Cornwall mid-year for you guys to
Portsmouth?
No. So Commando Tug is saying that Sunderland wear fucking red and white, you mong. Jesus Christ.
What? Oh, right.
Just Kwame got the wrong end of the fucking... That's the first time I've literally referred to a comment directly from him all show because he's just got the complete wrong end of the fucking stick. Kid infuriates me. Yeah, I did say both. Both
Well,
Sunderland and Southampton. Fuck me. Right, this has been the rundown. I've been Oz. Goodbye.
Thanks, Watson.